Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Primetime Jerry Royce, and you're on the party line with the incredible Mr. Right. This is a Positive Power 21 Network Entertainment and a production of Voice Enterprises Incorporated. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this presentation of the party line with the incredible Mr. Right. You can reach us at www.uncoveringmrright.com, and that's separated with hyphens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Uncovering Mr. Right. I'm your host, Jerry Royce. Tonight on the show, I have Troy English from Baltimore and have Latrina Davis. You all know her as the Internet Diva from that big party we had downtown in Canton. She was just letting it out, setting it off, right, Latrina? So anyway, we got her under a little better controlled environment tonight. So she's in Detroit. She's in Detroit, Motor City right now. So you're safe, Troy. Okay. All right, poor young man. I'll never forget that moment. But anyway, I'm glad to have both of you on the show. And I was listening to your program because Latrina had an opportunity to interview Troy. And one of the things that was a real big piece that was at the end was, Troy, you seemed like you learned a little something about when you said the relationship ended because you weren't putting in the time you used to put in with your significant other.
That's correct.
So when Latrina responded on that one, did you kind of understood what she was feeling, the young lady?
Oh, absolutely. And I think she put it into great perspective, and that there must be a good balance and also a good understanding as far as time commitment, because we all know that we can't dedicate 100% of our time to one person or to one thing, So I absolutely, she said some right on that for me, and I thank you for that.
Yeah, and I was going to add that when, thinking about it now, you said you gave her like 21 or 24 straight days, just her, and then you took it away. I mean, what took the time? Was it your children? Was it school? Was it work? What happened?
It was a combination, children, school, and work. It was, no other person. It was just a combination of the three things. Now, there's a saying, we always do what we want. We make time for the things that we really want to do, which I firmly believe, and in the beginning, like I said, those 21 days, I didn't expect it. I didn't even know it was 21 days in a row. It just went by so fast, and of course, she was counting, so she knew, and I really didn't pay too much attention. But yeah, I would say I would attribute it to a number of things.
Okay, now was she jealous of the things you was doing, or she was just assuming that somebody else was involved, like maybe a classmate or the baby's mother? Was she speculating?
That is always a possibility. I believe so. Yes. I most certainly believe, because there were other things that happened, other comments that were made, that were directed towards, assuming that there was someone else when in fact there wasn't anyone else. But yes, we've had those conversations before. So yeah, jealousy set in somewhere.
All right. Latrina, now, you sound like you had some experience in there. All right, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. There was just one instance I can remember. There was a guy that I was dating, and the roles were kind of reversed. I dedicated a lot of time. I let him know what I was doing all the time. Every time I went somewhere, every time I dropped a pin, he knew what I was doing. And I guess I'm an open book. I feel as though if I'm in a relationship, then I should just put everything out on the table. However, I was kind of losing sight of, like, my personal life some. And, this was just we were just kind of starting to date. And so he got so used, and I think it was like the holiday time. I had time off of work so I could talk to him during the day, on his break, on lunch. And so that's how he met me. He got used to all this time. That's all he knew. So when I went back to work and I started doing other things, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, it was like he couldn't handle that. You know, I don't know if he thought I was doing things, and it was just, I felt it was though because I had given too much of myself. And it's unfortunate that, you know, in some circumstances you can't do that. However, in some circumstances you can.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just my experience. So now I just try to, I give time, but I still try to do some other things for myself so that, you know, I'm not kind of starting something that's unhealthy and not something that I can maintain.
Very good. Now, Troy, now knowing this now, the next relationship, would you try to start the balance right off? Like keep doing, I know I see you out there in the court with the girls. You know, you're a busy guy. You know, you're a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
The next relationship, what you going to do about it?
Well, now when I meet women, you know, before we get into the dating stage, you know, I let them know up front, you know, hey, I have a lot going on. I'm a busy guy. I'm very ambitious. I'm very goal oriented, and I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish and that I am going to accomplish. You know, so I believe that, you know, if I let them know up front, that gives me a better chance, and the balance will be set, you know, from the beginning, because there are some weeks where I'll have more time, you know, than other weeks, and some weeks I won't have as much time as I had during the previous week. So that's something, you know, that hopefully they will understand, you know, and I will try to do my best, you know, and everything that I can do if I'm really into this person to help them feel more secure if we decide to get into a relationship. Because I think men play a big part in women feeling secure or insecure.
Very true, very true. So now you know you can work even harder because you know in the very beginning it could be a problem.
Yes.
So you can address it.
Absolutely.
Now, Latrina, now you have a new relationship going on. Mr. Right came out of nowhere on us. Came out of nowhere. What's the deal? I mean, your long distance relationship, how you guys going to balance your thing when, like, right now you said you guys are using technology, you know, you told me earlier. What's going to happen if he's not getting the Skype calls or the text messages off? And because I know, because you're finishing up with your doctorate, correct?
Yes, I am.
So, but you haven't put a lot of time into it lately, correct?
Oh, you trying to put me on blast?
Well, I mean, I guess I need to know because I've been pretty demanding myself, you know, with the show and all. And I want to kind of
No,
like, okay, I'm busy.
I haven't been putting as much time to this. I'm done with all my coursework. I've just been working on my dissertation. But I've been trying to kind of work on that a little bit more. As far as the long distance, I mean, I just kind of got back from the Baltimore area. He's in Washington, so during Thanksgiving I was up there, and he flew me up last weekend. He's flying back up this weekend, and then for Christmas he's actually going to be down here. We're going to go to my family's, and for New Year's I'm going to come up to Washington. And we figure we'll get all of this out before the weather gets bad, because once the weather gets bad, we probably don't want to be back and forth, you know, flying. So we've been Skyping, and we've dedicated Thursday to kind of date night. So no matter if we're busy throughout the week, if anything's happening, on Thursday nights are our nights to kind of just, you know, play games on a computer, talk, whatever we want to do. So we figured that's just our dedicated time to each other.
Wow. Now, Troy, could you handle something like that?
Ooh, wrong. Now, when you say Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
Washington, D.C. However, my intentions are to go back within April or May. So I'm only going to be gone, hopefully, for about 4 to 5 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I would.
No, go ahead. You still there, Troy? Did we lose Troy?
Aw.
Oh man, I was waiting for him to respond to that one. All right, let me see if I can stop the tape. Yeah, he looked like he went dead. All right, let me stop, and we'll get back. We'll get him back. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay. Now, I would definitely give a long distance relationship a try. But I'm really not a fan of them. If the distance is that long, I cannot drive comfortably to you. I'm not really a fan of it, but I would definitely give it a try though. Because it may be the best that you have that open space in the beginning, and then deeper into the relationship, you close that gap and you start to spend more time together and you get closer together. So I'm definitely open to trying.
Yeah, one thing I like about that, Latrina, is the fact that you guys are getting a chance to really get to know each other, and it's not like the lust part is involved. Because a lot of times when you meet somebody that you have access to, like really easy, like you said, Troy, like you get to them in 5-10 minutes. It's that sex drive that's bringing you to that person. You may have spent a couple hours on the phone talking, but you just can get to each other so easily. That you never get a chance to really get to know each other. Like I have another show that's going to be broadcast soon where one of the callers, guests, was living in Connecticut and her man was living in Brooklyn, New York. But she said she's planning to move to Baltimore for a job offer, and he's coming here with her. And he's just going to start a new career. And I think they have date night on Fridays, and they do the Skyping and all that stuff. So people are using technology to find love. What you think is what's the advantage with that, Latrina, you think?
As far as the technology or as far as the long distance?
Well, yeah, both. Do you feel that it does give the couples a chance to really get to know each other? Because if you can't stimulate each other mentally for a couple of, years or whatever it takes before you get together in the same state, then something's going to be wrong. It's going to happen in a marriage.
And that's true. And I kind of have mixed feelings on it. I don't know if I could have an interracial. I don't think I could have a long distance relationship. And this is my personal opinion. Like, let's just say, and I know I've tampered with maybe online dating before, but I don't think that say for instance I'd met somebody online and I had never met him before and he lived in Timbuktu. I don't think I could do that. But with, Ty, it's kind of different because we met without even knowing. He had no idea I wasn't going to be in Baltimore that much longer. So it was unfortunate, but it's been working out. But at least I know, what he looks like. I know what his embrace feels like. I have something to look forward to. And I think that's what keeps me. That's what lets me know that this person is real on the other line. This is somebody that I'm going to get to see and get to hang out with. And we get to talk, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel as though we have a more closer relationship than people who actually live in the same city.
Yeah, that's right. And that's true. Because one, he said that you really stimulate him mentally, a lot. So it's like you guys have that chemistry where there's still so much you need to know about each other, and not even that, just finding new things. I call it finding new wealth in the relationship to make it successful because you're trying to grow. Now, Troy, she's only really, 9 hours in the car, correct?
It's about 8.5.
Yeah, that's not bad if you're talking about, you leave out Friday and, you meet halfway. Because I have a buddy who met his girl online and she lived in Chicago. He lived here. And they would meet halfway. They'd do it once or twice a month, use the technology, and then finally, after a year or two of stimulating each other mentally, they got married. Yeah, and he's not a easy person to get along with, even as a best friend. He has his moments. I love him like a brother, but he got his thing.
Right.
I said, she must be strong. A strong girl. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping you guys in prayer because Ty seems like a great guy, and I don't think your situation is that difficult. especially the things y'all trying to do.
Right, that's true.
Right.
I can say that and this is coming, I never really believed in kind of maybe true love or your soulmate, but he's made me believe in that. So, I mean, I believe that anything is possible. So,
Yeah. You believe in
that's
that,
just my
Troy?
two
You believe in soulmates?
No, no. I don't believe in soul. I do believe, I guess, long, deep partnerships, but I don't think I've reached the soulmate level yet.
Let me ask you this, Troy. You ever made
Mm-hmm.
love to a woman? I mean, I'm talking about that first 5-10 seconds, and something just said, "Bam! Oh my God, this is it." Has that ever happened?
Yeah, but yeah, in that moment, yes.
Talking about the first 5 seconds, bruh.
Yeah, I know.
And what happened? I mean,
yeah.
what happened with her? I mean, how long did that go?
Well, actually, that was my last relationship. So
wow.
we lasted around 3 years.
That's a long time, 3 years. Really, I'm gonna tell you, Troy, in 3 years, and Latrina, you can back me up. 3 years, I say, if you, I know you had a lot going on because you was in school, you got the girls, the job thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time when the guy's ready to get down on their knees and give her the ring.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it within that 3 years, it is best to move on.
Uh-huh.
And that's probably why she was acting out, because you passed that threshold.
Well, she was acting out before that 3-year threshold.
How long was it? When did she start acting up? Let me see if she was within the window.
The honeymoon was over probably after maybe a year and a half.
Right. I think I was engaged by then. I think if I would have kept dragging it out, going on 2 years, 3 years, she was like, this guy not going to propose to me. Why am I wasting my time with him?
Well, no, I wouldn't say I was dragging it out. Every relationship has issues, and none of them are perfect at all, So for me, I was just, I just needed to be really short.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for perfection or anything like that. I just, wanted to be really short. Issues are fine.
Right.
You go through them, you learn from them, you grow together, and you get better.
Now, you mentioned that she was a real beautiful woman. I think you showed me a picture of her. You were real proud of her when you showed it to me. I remember you were like my son coming to me saying, hey, Dad, look at this. Look what I found, Dad. And I was like, wow, she is nice. She was really into it, man. I was like, oh, wow, I wish him the best. But, Latrina, both of you guys are very attractive people. And sometimes that could be a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I was young, a while back. And sometimes, and you talked about it earlier in the other show, Troy, when you put a lot of time on her and then you stopped it, she got suspicious. Now, Latrina, in your case, what do you think would happen if, because you heard what Ty said he liked, and that's you. He liked it. That's what he liked, He probably thinking about you all the time. What's going to happen if you say, okay, I got to start working on this paper. I'm going to have to cut into my time with him. I mean, if he's not strong enough, what you think? You think a problem would develop?
I don't think a problem would develop if there's communication, and we've really been trying to establish that. And he's been very supportive in regards to anything that I have to do to better myself, because he feels as though if I'm not completely at a point where I want to be, or I'm not getting the support that I feel as though I should get, then that's going to make me feel a certain kind of way. So he's all for, especially if it has something to do with bettering myself.
Right.
He's all for it. Now, if I'm talking about I'm about to go out every night, so that's a whole other story.
Yeah, right. If
he might pout a little bit, but
that's going to create problems right there. Now, Troy, did you share that with her? Was communication there strongly?
Yeah, it actually, it could have been better. Absolutely could have been better. But I feel as though the communication was very strong. Now, but hindsight is always 20/20, I mean, looking back on it, you know, there are a lot of things that could have been better or could have been done differently. But, you know, that's life, and you live and you learn.
But do you find you have problems though? You know, like I said, you're in Latrina, y'all good looking people. You're young. You got the education, the jobs. I mean, you guys are considered Miss Right, Mr. Right in the book, a good book, right? Do you find that, you know, even on the job, you know, you have to prove yourself that you're not that stereotype pretty boy, playboy type guy that a lot of women have had problems with through grade school, college, whatever. You know, they just say, hey, I'm not looking at those micro alley types anymore, you know. You know, or those Gabriel Unions. Because Gabriel Union's a heartbreaker. You know, you got that nice chocolatey skin and she look all soft, you know. I mean, you happy that you got that person and now you're wondering how you gonna keep them. I mean, is that going through those girls' mind when you know you say, hey, I want to see you, and they thinking, I don't know, man. It's like, you know, what you thinking?
I think so. I'm going to say yes. And unfortunately, you know, I get that stereotype all the time, you know, that, you know, he's all looks, you know, or he's a player, he's a heartbreaker, you know, ladies man, and all that good stuff. You know, it's actually weird because I've had some people tell me, you know, they judge me from afar, but then when they finally talk to me, they're like, okay, this brother is educated. You know, he speaks well. You know, he smiles. He's educated. And they're like, wow. So they're in shock because that perception that they had of me, you know, was totally wrong.
Right.
You know, that he's not all just looks and everything. You know, he's actually smart, and he actually speaks well, and he actually is educated, and he actually, you know, up to date, and he follows, you know, finance and economics, politics, or, you know, and not just a jock, and not just ESPN. You know, he actually watches, you know, and read books and stuff. So some of them are actually, and it amazes me that they're shocked, you know, because they have labeled me, you know, from a distance, without actually opening their mouth to say a word to me. But then when it finally happens, it puts them in shock. So you know, I get labeled all the time, you know, as some pretty boy type guy, but that's not who I am at all.
Right, right. We know that, but I mean, how about, you know, like on the job? Now you're going into a new location. Now, you know, like I said, I look at you like a son. You go into a new location, and they don't know anything about you right now. You know, who knows? You know, because you have a good reputation coming out of OI. You did well. You know, did well over there. Now, new location, you're starting over now, man. You're gonna have to be grinding it out hard to prove to them you're here for the job and not for them. Right? So are you up for the challenge again?
Oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me. You know, I'm there to do a job, and that's what I'm going to do to the best of my ability. You know, and all the skills and everything that I've learned throughout my life, you know, I carry them with me, and I use them everywhere I go. I'm not concerned with anybody's perception. I'm not concerned with what anybody has heard. You know, my main concern is getting the job done and doing what needs to be done so that I can move on once again to a higher level.
That's right. Good. Now, Latrina, same thing with you. You know, you bat the big eyes at those guys. You know, you got the skin, all that good stuff, the curves. You know, what happens? I mean, what is the guy? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, are you worrying about it, or you just say, hey, it's what it is? You know.
I'm just like, it's what it is. I do get a lot, why am I single? And I guess I have some male friends, but not a lot of male friends. And I'm close to them. So I get a lot, well, you know, you've been single, or guys think that there's more going on with me and those friends because of maybe I'm attractive and I'm young and I don't have any kids. So they're always questioning, like, what else I'm doing or what's wrong or why am I single. So that's always, like, a big issue for me.
Yeah, because I remember at that party, we had a recording, a group session, And Latrina was celebrating her birthday, and we had guys were young. I think Brandon was 30. Well, Aubrey was 30. Chris, whatever their name, they were 24, 25. And they was going into a discussion about, women and men. And then, Trina came in, she dropped the credentials. And old boy was like, oh, man, why you finding all your bullets on me? Like you unloading. She was dropping everything. I'm not just good looking, but I got my degree. I'm working on my doctorate. He was like, oh, man, it was killing him. Trina, what happened? I mean, what was you feeling when you went off?
The reason it made me, and his whole thing was, you shouldn't drop all of that on the table initially, and I don't. But he was making some accusation about just maybe females lacking things, and so that's what made me drop everything out on the table. So then he tried to come back with, you shouldn't just, drop all of that out there, but I wasn't. I was saying, that I have all of these qualities and all these things, so to whatever point that he was making. But still, at the end of the day, I mean, if somebody feels as though they want to put it out on the table, if I'm getting ready to get involved with someone at the age I am now, I'm looking for something serious. So I want to know what you're bringing to the table, and I want to know what I'm bringing to the table, so therefore we can move forward. I don't want to guess, and I don't want you to have to guess.
Right. Cause, I mean, it was crazy because I know some men are intimidated. I mean, because you got to look like you got it going on. So he saw that. So visually said, okay, she looked like she got it on. I guess he felt like you just overpowered him, when you dropped your credentials on the table on him.
Well, a lot of people don't even know, like, when I'm working on my doctorate or the stuff like that. Because it's just not something that I go around, promoting.
Right. Because I didn't find out
for that simple reason, people buy. I don't know. I feel like sometimes guys feel a little intimidated. It could just be me, but I feel that they can.
Yeah, that's true because I didn't know it. Someone else told me. I was like, wow, she's smart and she's working on that. That's powerful. I mean, I can handle it because, my wife does really well in her career. But if I was a weak man, I would be giving her a hard time. I would be giving her stress. So she's been very successful. My success has been, slowly. It's like maybe I'll be 65 or something when it all happens. But some people things just happen good to them right away. I guess because they've been so good, all their life that they just getting their favors now. I met, I wasn't the best guy out there in my early days. I was like the father's worst nightmare. He see me coming through that door. So, oh, not this guy. The sports car, the slick clothes, the leather coats and stuff. Yeah, that was me. So that's why, when I look at Troy and my son, my oldest son, I was like, wow, what these guys are going to have some challenges because they really want to do well in life, but because of their looks, they tall, they what you call a BMW, of black men. Everybody wants them, and they can make the choices who they want. And these girls gonna be like, they just gonna throw in the towel and say, well, I give up. I don't want to be part of it. Next thing you know, what's gonna happen to you? You gotta find yourself a homie girl and fix her up.
Gotta buy you a fixer up, right?
Yeah, because she got the strong self-esteem because she wasn't expecting much.
Right.
So you just get her because she's smart and she got a good job, but she just need to, put some contacts in and get her hair done, and you get yourself a winner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Making it easy to please, huh?
That's right. But look, I appreciate having you both on the show. It's been very delightful. It's been awesome. And hopefully be able to do it again. Maybe we can bring somebody else in on the conversation. I know you got some friends, the trainer that we can help. They can gang up on Troy and see if he can handle the pressure.
Right? I'm ready.
All right, Troy. Before you go, can you lay something out there to our audience out there who's trying to uncover Mr. Right? One last thought for him.
Yeah. Ladies, you just heard a lot of good advice. So I would definitely not take it for granted, and again, I can't stress enough. And fellas, I'm not putting out there to think like a man. I'm not trading on y'all like Steve Harvey. I'm just, letting the ladies know, look out for the slick. Actions are everything. We can say anything out of our mouths that we want to say, but if we're not walking in it, then it really means nothing. Your words are nothing. And I remember leading with this quote that Nick Saban, Alabama football coach, said one time when he said to his players, what you're doing speaks so loudly that I can't even hear what you're trying to say. So, ladies, I'll leave you with that quote, meaning, actions are greater than words.
That's
Pay
right.
attention to a man's actions.
Amen. Amen. That was deep. And Latrina.
Wow.
For the ladies, what you got for them?
Just keep your head up. Sometimes you may get discouraged. You may even feel like, when is my time? And you might sometimes even look through the window at other relationships and think that everything's all fine and dandy. But just because it's shiny doesn't mean that it's truly real. So, just continue to be yourself, and, you never know when you might least expect it. Your Mr. Right doesn't show up at your doorstep.
That's right. That's right. And I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my guests. I want to thank the audience for tuning in to Uncovering Mr. Right. And like they say, keep your head up, ladies. You're going to find that guy. He's going to cross your path when you least expect it. You're listening to a guy who's been married for 20 years. Everything's been all right. Well, actually 21, going on 22. So, again, everybody take care and continue to surf our website. We will try to continue to bring you more programming like this. Check in, fill out our form, and maybe you could be a guest on our show also. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jerry Royce, Uncovering Mr. Right. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Primetime Jerry Royce, and you're on the party line with the incredible Mr. Right. This is a Positive Power 21 Network Entertainment and a production of Royce Enterprises Incorporated. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this presentation of The Party Line with the incredible Mr. Right. You can reach us at www.uncoveringmrright.com, and that's separated with hyphens.